What's up, Tiger Nation? Steve Leslie, YSNLive.com, your home of the Springfield Tigers each and every week here at the Tigers table. Tuesday night playoff edition, round 2. I want to first thank Jackie and their staff here each and every week for 12 weeks. They've been phenomenal to all of us. Hopefully we will see them again for week 13 next week, but I want to thank them all for all they do for all of us. I want to thank my partner Noah each and every week for all he does. Tigers will host Toronto Friday night. Come on down to the Tigers table, have a great meal, and then head on over to Tiger Stadium. If you cannot make the game, we will have it for you on YSN 999. Noah and CJ will have the call. They do a great job, and I know Noah's looking forward to watching the Tigers again this week. Coach's Corner, proud to be coached by Coach G. Sean, thanks for joining us.
Oh, another good week. Let's keep this thing rolling.
It gets a little darker each and every week. The things stay the same. A good win against Black River last week. Go back and talk about that a little bit after you're able to settle down. We talked off air, a little slow starting. You know, when I talk to some of the kids, Sean, and you're going to have that as the playoffs come. Everybody comes out with a high energy. It's a high situation. The underdogs kind of are coming out with a lot of things going on, and then the game kind of evens out. You had a penalty, take a touchdown off the board but after that start, and a lot of the kids have said you guys went in at half, made some adjustments, and things got to beat back to Tiger football. Is that something that these kids can learn, that it's not going to be we're going to go out and score every time we touch the football come playoff time? Is that fair to say?
Well, I think going into the game, obviously, I felt good going in the preparation of the week of practice that we went into, and our kids, I don't know if they came out where they were, you know what I mean, just you get that 2:15 matchup and you're thinking, oh, my gosh, this is going to be an easier game. So I think we kind of got stunned a little bit that they came out with some energy and ended up doing it. I thought our defense had a phenomenal game. You mean to hold a team like that?
Yeah, with their offense. That is not an easy offense to defend.
I mean, I felt good offensively for us. I mean, in the first drive, we had 2 big penalties, put us back to, you know what I mean, 1st and 20.
Yeah, those are hard.
And that's just not the way we're built. Obviously, with the first play we got back, you get high energy, and then it's a penalty. Then you think you're going, and then it comes back. So I just felt like our kids had to get into the groove and kind of settle down, you know what I mean, and just when you talk about the kids saying just play Tiger football, that's all we did, you know what I mean, at halftime was, hey, let's take a deep breath, let's relax. Again, we always say, don't try to do too much. We just got to make sure we're doing our job, simplifying what we're doing. And we talked about some things, so the travel and not knowing who they play and not really having a comparison, I think, is a little bit harder for our kids. But with this week, Toronto is a little bit closer. They played Lowville week 2, which we do have a common opponent. So I just feel like our kids, just got to be able to make sure that we continue to. And I continue to talk. We got to continue to get better. First half is something we have to learn off of. I thought off the first half, like I said, our defense. So we go out, we get behind the chains, we get the penalty. We throw an early pick, and, man, did our defense respond. Yeah. And I think from that, we just got to be able to make sure we play complementary football. And, you know what I mean, if something doesn't go, it's okay to punt the ball. There's going to be turnovers in a game. We just got to be able to make sure we match it. And I thought our defense played extremely well in that first half. Second, I think on our second drive, we ended up, driving it down and had a nice drive and put it together and put points on the board. And then we realistically only had 3 possessions because we got the ball in our 4th possession. We took a knee. I think there was, 10 seconds left going into half. So I felt good going into half the way we played with a couple mistakes. Being up still 6-0. Came back in. We told them take a deep breath and let's go. In the second half, we drove the ball right down, put another score on the board than they did. So the thing that was more impressive to us is at that point our kids weren't holding their heads. First play, bang, Dante took one to the house. So I just glad that our kids, after we took a shot, we weren't surprise shocked. We came out and threw another punch after that touchdown. And after that, our kids were just ready to go and back in the swing of things. So.
Yeah, back at a couple things as you talked, and some things that jump out to me that I wanted to ask you a couple things. When you get to this level, the first thing this is week 12. It's a long process. It's long. It's hard on kids. It's long for coaches. But Sean, I come here each and every week, and a lot of kids I see and the kids I talk to, it's the stuff maybe that you guys do before you go on the practice field, the weightlifting, the taking care of your body. I see a football team that, in my opinion, does that very well. Is that one of the things that are important to you guys and your staff before you even head out on that football field? We need to take care of, number one, their body. Two, the mind is part of the body in a long season. Take care of that. And I think that's one of not only your strength but your staff's strength to prepare them for things before they even go out on practice.
Well, I'll go on 2 parts of that. You mean last Wednesday we do lift before practice, and if you would have saw our kids lifting, we had kids that we did upper body, but we had kids on Wednesday 2 days before the game that were repping out 315 on bench. So it's something that it's kind of built into our program that I think our kids kind of thrive on. That we're doing, and we're not gonna stop doing that now. We're not gonna maintain. Hey, we're like I was taught, we're gonna continue to get better, and our kids push for that. So to go in that and see that, I even looked around, and you talked about the being dinged up a little bit and going through this, and we're gonna have bumps and bruises, but our kids have bought into what we're doing.
Sure.
They're busting their butts in the weight room on a Wednesday. And hopefully that stuff's paying off when you get into the third and fourth quarter, when hopefully some strength and the people get a little bit tired and they're not doing that. That's hopefully when we get the advantage. Now on Saturday, we had some banged up dudes.
Sure.
After the game. So Saturday after it, they know right now that whether it's before practice or after practice, they're seeing our trainer Carrie,
Sure.
and they're getting treatment, and we're icing, and we're doing ice baths and things of that nature. And it takes time, but at this level, we just got to be able to make sure for us. On Saturday, we're dinged up, but we got to put our kids in the best situation where they're the healthiest by Friday, the healthiest we can be. And it takes time. And we talked about that. Like, hey, if we got to stay 20 minutes after practice to go do some exercises, work some ankles, get in the ice bath, do whatever, we're going to do that. And our kids have bought in that, and they end up doing it.
Well,
so
shout out to the kids and shout out to you guys, you as the head coach and your staff. I think that's one of the things that impresses me the most. Off of that now, so you play a Black River team, you play a Toronto team, and I think it was Vinny that I asked. Sometimes it's hard to tell on film how big a guy is, but Vinny gave a great answer. He said, I think he was talking about when you were on defense or whether you're on offense. Teams are going to do something that you haven't seen. And Vinny gave a great answer. He said, Steve, I thought I made a couple bad plays, and coach grabbed me. My position coach grabbed me and said, you're not doing bad. You need to do A or do B to get to that. That's my question. It's a lot different than it looks on film, obviously. When you get to a game night and it's right in front of you, you have to be prepared for things you don't see. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, that's one thing I think we do with our offense and our defense is you try to base everything off of rules. So we might get a look like if offensively we get an even and odd front, or they give us a new formation, or you get that one. Right now, just the repetition of doing it is okay. If we're in cover 3,
sure.
Our alignment is here's our alignment, here's our front. If they give us whatever, everything's based off rules. So no matter what they give us, hopefully the fundamentals are going to end up coming back and going with our kids. So, and we do rep it, and you do try to rep things that our kids haven't seen like this year. And I told the kids coming on Monday, like, I'm going to throw a lot of different stuff at you, because then when they came at halftime and they were like, well, I don't know if we saw this or we adjusted this. Well, now I got to be able to make sure that I'm giving them different looks, because we got to be able to adjust. And I think Toronto's going to load the box on us and try to stop our run game, which is rightfully so. I think, that's a strength. And defensively, they're going to do something that we haven't seen.
Sure.
Coaches are going to do that, trying to push or trying to get it, but we just need to make sure that all the stuff, goes back to our fundamentals. Yeah. We remember our base rules of our defense. We got to line up and play fast.
Yeah, I love that you said it. And I've talked to you for so many weeks. There's a rule and a thing on why we do A or B. That is a great answer. I talked with Isaac today. I talked with Vinny and Carson. And when I love talking to these guys, like Isaac and Carson are excited because this is a very talented quarterback. We'll talk that the ball is probably going to go up in the air a lot, but Vinny's more the other way. He's excited about running the football and let's pound it at him.
Yeah.
So I say that because each and every week you do a great job of getting me guys the different personalities, the different things that they do that helps this football team win. Like Carson's big time, when big plays, he's usually around the ball. Vinny is one of those guys on that offensive defensive line that just do their job. Isaac's the same way. He's going to make a play on the edge. That has to be exciting for you to see kids that in today's world understand roles and what needs to be done.
Well, I guess we have to make sure as a coaching staff that we're putting in the kids in the best position that they can succeed. And when you end up doing that and the kids, you know what I mean, for us to end up doing it, you kind of see what Dante's going to always get the preps because he's rushing for over 200 yards a game. But now you end up seeing those where I know Dante appreciates those guys, but every time Dante's been interviewed after a game,
I noticed
but the boys are standing behind him now. You mean it's something when you got 5 or 6 guys standing behind you and Dante's going, they know that's the process of it. We talk about it, and we got to be able to make sure that we're talking up our guys because same thing on the defense. Those guys eat up blocks, penetrate, and they let our linebackers go. You mean between, I don't know whether Kuboff and Kaysen, I think combined they almost had 30 tackles.
Those guys get to go do what they like to do because of those big boys do their job. But it's funny that you said it because you see it here every week. They're here together as a group. Whoever's getting interviewed, they're here representing that. Is that one of the keys to success? To number one, you have to be close-knit. Number two, but from your point as a head coach, you've created an atmosphere for them, team-wise and individually, to have success. And I think I say that because football is a hard game to play. And I see these kids they want the challenge. They want those types of things. They know that things aren't going to be easy as the road goes here, but I go back to your schedule and the preparation from week 1 till now. There's not a whole lot these kids haven't seen.
No, I really do feel like, and when you talk about, and you said this about the staff when Vinny came off the field and he's trying to say, you mean
it's coaching, right?
I know, and I'm grateful for being in the position I am, that I've surrounded myself around good people, great people, and those guys do a great job, and we all have roles just like the kids do.
Sure.
So when we do that, we have our coaches that are talking to our kids all through the game, all through practice. I said that going into week 11. I mean, you would have thought the first practice on Monday going into week 11 was our first practice, you know what I mean, going into the season. So we got a good high energy, you know what I mean, staff, and those guys get after it, and there's high expectations, and the kids understand that. But the kids have bought into what we're doing. The kids want to be a part of it, and they know what's happening. And they know right now when you say, okay, I don't get a touch this week, or next week I might get 3 touches. Hey, you got to watch when it's your turn to touch. We got to go make the play, and we talk about that. You know, with your opportunity, you'll make the play, and you'll get your opportunity, and that'll happen. So it's about the team. You know what I mean? It's about the team, and I could see either Coach Truss or Coach Knatzer going. I was going the team, and it's about us, and that's what we preach about, and that's what we coach, and it's been very beneficial that the kids can go, and I think with the success of our program, that's why we're in the position we are, because there's not a bunch of selfish kids.
No, there really isn't, and I mean that, and I want to say it right now. Shout out to your staff. I know all those guys. I love all those guys, and I love working with you and talking to you. Those guys are the guys behind the scenes that maybe don't get things, but shout out to those guys. Love you. Just continue to do what you do. Let's talk Toronto. Talented quarterback. You said common opponent. Do some different things. Probably load a box. And I think you're going to give me this answer because you're pretty well. You guys kind of stay the same. You've been here a long time. You've been long playoff runs for you. What's some of the things that you think concern you about this football team?
Well, number one, I think they're big and physical. They're a physical football team, and whether it's matched, and hopefully we've done that. You know, we've played some teams. You know what I mean. Western Reserve, South Range, schools of that nature, McDonald, teams that are big and physical, that are going to run downhill on you. Hopefully that has prepared us for this point. So when you end up seeing it, but they're big and they're aggressive, and like I said, we keep talking about this week because they're putting so many, like they're putting their both safeties into the box. Well, okay, that 15-yard run might be a 6-yard run, but that's okay. I mean, obviously, if we can establish the run, eat up clock, and keep the big boy off the field tossing it around, it's going to benefit us.
Talk about him a little bit. He does a lot of things for YSN fans. He's one of the more talented quarterbacks probably in our area, in this region. No doubt he's talented.
Well, he can throw it around, and he's got a bunch of good guys he can throw it to that seem like they hit windows, they get in the right spots, they have good concepts. They're going to give you a bunch of different formations. So when you get into that, it definitely puts some stress on our defense. And I even talked to him this week in being with the safeties. Like, it's okay if we give up a play. It's okay if we give up a 50 or tackle it. Let's play again. Let's be a bend but don't break defense. And if we do give up a touchdown, again, we're going to be okay. Let's get them the next snap and move on for it. In these type of games, it's realistically going through the ups and downs, the roller coaster of it. that's where you got to be able to make sure the kids, you know what I mean, hey, have a good mindset and continue to go, because we got to play 4 quarters and you never know what happens. And with all the stuff that ends up happening, hey, hopefully we'll put him in a bad situation where we get some pressure on him, or he puts up a ball that maybe he shouldn't, and we get and we're able to make some plays. So I just feel right now with the talent that he has, with the skill kids and himself, it's definitely going to be a challenge for us. And we're going to try to put our kids in, like I said, good situations and practice the heck out of it to make sure it's not, hey, oh my gosh,
where did that come from? No doubt.
So you want to be able to do that. So it's definitely some challenges for our kids. Like I said, we're going to try to prepare them the best that we can as a staff, and hopefully, like I said, we're going to be able to line up and run around and play fast and physical and have a great game on Friday.
Well, I hope to see that, no doubt. Best of luck Friday night. I have to ask each and every week, Coach's keys to coming back and sitting here next Tuesday night, getting ready for hopefully another playoff game, a trip into the regional semis. If there's something that momentum is a big part of this game.
Momentum this week. I got some sort of a hunch that there's going to be a big play on special teams, either for them or for us.
Right.
So I feel like there's something.
I mean, those are things you prepare for every week, but it's hard to prepare a kid for a momentum swing. And I think your kids do a pretty good job of handling those momentum swings throughout the year in games. That's something you can't coach. It's just something that maybe as a staff you instill in them to know that. And you said it there earlier that, yeah, we gave up a touchdown, you gave up a big play, but the next play after that now becomes the most important one. Is momentum, Sean, in high school playoffs, the biggest part of a playoff game is how you handle momentum and swings?
I would think so. It's tough because you got young kids that sometimes haven't been in the situation before. You get a playoff game, and that was one thing with our kids even last week. I'm like, well, we had some kids that really haven't played in a playoff game, and you get that pressure, and oh my gosh, and next thing you know, we get a penalty, or we're not moving the balls, and then we just got to make sure we take a deep breath and kind of slow us down. And that was even going through those playoff games the past couple of years. I mean, halftime I try to end up being a little bit more calm and not trying to be a rah-rah guy, because we get them so hyped up. Next thing we kick off, and our guys are all running past the ball carrier. So you don't want them you don't want the adrenaline going to where it's all. So we got to be able to, again, make sure that we're playing 4 quarters and take a deep breath and just be us and do our job and do those little things. But with that, like I said, I thought last week, we threw the interception early. Our defense stepped up and took care of business and got them off the field. A big 4th down stop, and those are the things that I think our kids have to respond and make sure that we are able to do, because there's going to be good plays and there's going to be bad plays.
Well, there's going to be a lot of good plays. Hopefully Friday night, tune in to Noah and CJ. If you can't make the game, if you can't get on down to Tiger Stadium, root this football team on and hopefully root them in to the regional semifinals. Again, another great night. I want to thank you for all you do for me, getting things situated each and every week, and best of luck, brother.
Fantastic. Thank you very much,
hopefully see you next week.
Appreciate it, baby.
You know, shout out to your family. I know your wife very well, and for all the football families, not only yours, the players, your coaches. It's a long, long season that when you want what you're looking for becomes longer. So shout out to the parents and to the coaches and their families for all the support they give to you guys on game night.
Well, at this school, and again, when we were able to play at home and they have the atmosphere that we have, and hopefully we have the fans coming out for one more week for this last home game for our seniors, and to be able to have another playoff game. We talk about, for ourselves of being grateful for the opportunity, and again, to be home and in the atmosphere and the school system, it's been great. So our kids are going to be pumped up and ready to roll, and hopefully we'll see hopefully the old Tiger Nation will be back in full effect.
There you'll have it, Tiger Nation. They need you. Friday night, loud and proud. Help these young men on, and Sean, best of luck.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Steve.